Okay, get ready to set yourself up for your morning practice. Sit yourself on the lift. Come into a good cross-legged position, and then just have a little wriggle about on your cushion, and just make sure that you feel level. Feel level at the seat bones. Hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area upwards. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, lifting the heart area up to the ceiling. Just listen to the sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation. And then release your knees. Bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms of the hands firmly together. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. And then allow your eyes to gently close. Spend a moment just to go back to the seat bones, observing how you're balanced on the seat bones. Just adjusting if you feel like you've rolled onto the back edge of the seat bones, or that you are more on one seat bone than the other. So sit on the front edge of the seat bones, drawing the lumbar spine in towards the abdomen, drawing the abdomen towards the lumbar spine, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, the heart area to the ceiling, the shoulders away from your ears. Spend a moment to bring the chin down to meet the chest, and to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then hold onto your knees, raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. And then hold onto your knees. Sorry, got things in the wrong order there. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Spend a moment to acknowledge how the seat bones are connecting to the cushion. Are you consciously rolling onto the back of the seat bones? Everyone just roll onto the back edge of your seat bones and just feel how the chest drops. Roll right onto the back of the seat bones so you're sitting on the sacrum, so the back rounds. So this is much more restrictive in terms of the breath. So roll onto the front edge of the seat bones and feel how the heart area opens, the chest lifts, and how much easier it is to inhale and exhale. So breathe in through the nose, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs and your shoulders, keeping your neck soft, digging the back hand into the cushion or the floor so that you remain on the front edge of the seat bones. Lift the heart area, lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, lift the heart area upwards, keeping the shoulders down, using each subsequent exhalation to turn a little more deeply. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Digging the back hand into the floor so that you stay on the front edge of the seat bones, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, lifting the heart area, keeping the shoulders down, using the out breath to intensify the turn. All the time keeping the neck soft, just looking forwards, but turning from the shoulders and from the ribs and from the abdomen. And then gently come back to the center. And then come off your lift and sit back on your heels. Have the big toes together, the knees apart. Press the shins firmly into the floor. Elevate the heart area upwards. Again, drawing your shoulders down. So lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, the heart area to the ceiling, and then come forwards, hinging at the hips, keeping the seat bones in connection with the heels, stretching your arms away, sitting down on the heels and bringing the forehead down onto the floor. Breathing even, deep inhalations and exhalations. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Pressing the seat bones down onto the heels, pressing the shins into the floor. Lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, the fingertips, the fingernails. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into baddangulyasana. Just feel where your body is today with the pose. Just observe how movable the seat bones are, how there may be restriction within the body. Observe your internal balance of action. If you feel resistance in the hips, then bend your knees for a moment. Bend them quite acutely and then tilt the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then straighten the legs. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, pushing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Listening to the breath. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Lift the seat bones up towards the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position, get a couple of blocks for your hands and have your feet as wide apart as your mat. Have the outside edge of the feet in line with the edge of the mat, have the little toes in line with the edge of the mat, have the toes in line with each other in front of you, have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest. Keep the head lifted, keep the back straight as you come forward and hinge at the hips. Find the blocks underneath your shoulders and just find your way into the pose. Just tightening the kneecaps, lifting the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. So that the backs of the thighs consciously broaden outwards. Lift the seat bones a little higher. Project the chin and the chest forward. If you can go down lower, then do. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, just going down lower progressively, but never at the expense of extension. Keeping extension deep. When you reach down to the floor, if you reach the floor, make sure that your weight doesn't suddenly fall into your hands. Hit the legs back so that your weight is definitely in your heels. You might have to change the position of your hands so that they're still underneath your shoulders. But go into the pose, go into the feeling of the pose. If you can reach around the backs of your heels, bending your elbows out to the side, drawing the straight back through the space between the two legs. But just staying at whichever stage feels right for your body. And then bring your hands onto your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to, come up into Tadasana. Have the inner edge of the feet together. Observe how your feet connect to the ground. Lengthen the shoulders away from your ears. Elevate upwards. Feel that you are growing out of the feet up into activated legs. From the hips up into the armpits. Shoulders away from the ears. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Lifting the chest like we were doing in swastikasana, in virasana, in padottanasana. So spread the toes of your left foot. Lift your shorts if you can on your left leg. And then come back into Tadasana, tighten kneecaps, turning the thighs inwards. And then bring the foot up into the top of the thigh for vrksasana. And if you need help with balance, just have just something nearby, a chair. just to help you to balance, or do this against the wall. So with your back against the wall, so that you've got a sense of balance behind you. So straighten the standing leg, lift up into the heart area. Lengthen the shoulders away from the ears initially, just stretching the arms down. Lengthen from the bent leg hip into the knee. Make sure that the hips feel level. You haven't kind of pulled this bent leg knee back. The hips remain level. Stretch the arms forwards and bring your arms into vrksasana. Over your head, palms of the hands facing each other, arms straight. If you struggle to straighten your arms, bring your arms a little wider apart. I have to make a slight variation because of the lack of ceiling height, but otherwise do vrksasana. Just look at something that doesn't move. Keep that standing leg as firm as it was in Tadasana. Keep it doing Tadasana, turning the front of the thigh inwards. Push the foot into the thigh into the foot, and like a tube of toothpaste, lengthen your energy up into the chest. Just breathing even deep inhalations, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. And then release your arms, release the leg, come back into Tadasana. So come back into Tadasana and just find your balance in Tadasana. Plant the feet firmly, tighten the kneecaps, turn the fronts of the legs inwards, tuck the tailbone in. Lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, the heart area to the ceiling, the shoulders away from the ears. But really importantly, keep that standing leg firm, turning the front of the thigh inwards. Spread the toes of the right foot if you can. Lift that, lift the shorts on the right side, that's good. Skin on skin is always firmer. And then bring your foot, the left foot up into the right thigh. Press the right leg into the foot into the leg. Just at this stage, lift the chest, stretch your arms down. Just reset your Tadasana leg. Tuck the tailbone in. Make sure that the hips feel level behind you. Lengthen from the bent leg, hip into the knee. And then raise your arms up and vrksasana arms. Feel that you're growing out of the floor. Look at something that doesn't move. Feel that you're growing out of the floor up to the sky. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Tree pose, grounding the foot, letting the body rise up to the skies. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So if you think about it, trees are grounded into the earth through the roots and they reach up towards the sun. So the foot are the roots, the leg of course is the trunk, and the rest of the body is the leaves and the branches. Trees tend to be a little more symmetrical looking, of course, but you find that symmetricality through the action of the leg. Release your arms, release the leg. Come back into Tadasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide. Spread the palms, spread the skin of the palms. Bend your elbows in toward your chest and then step the feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn the left toes in, right leg and foot all the way out, and then come down and find the shin. Now as you come down, notice, are you really keen to find the leg? Do you lose length in this left side, in this right side? If you do, come down with your left hand on your hip and just focus on elevating into this side. Keep that right side of the torso long. Find the shin wherever you can. Don't even think about going down to the foot. Just find the shin while maintaining that length from the hip into the armpit. Rotate the top shoulder towards the wall behind you and then reach up. So little by little you might bring the hand down the leg, but it's not important to have the hand at the foot. It's better to have the body in alignment. So looking up, breathing in and out through the nose. Just observing the feeling of the pose. Observing where the front leg buttock bone is. Is it beyond the right heel, or can you squeeze that front leg buttock bone forward so that it's in line with that front heel? Push the back leg towards the wall behind you. Draw the abdomen to the ceiling, chest to the ceiling. Reach up into that top arm. Straight legs. Come back to the center. Keep your arms outstretched if you can. Swap the feet around, turn the right toes in. The left leg and foot all the way out. Bring your right hand onto your hip. Just focus on maintaining the length of that left side of the torso as you reach down. Prioritizing this length from the hip up into the armpit. Turning the chest, turning the torso, squeezing the front leg buttock bone forwards, and then reach up. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Legs straight, keeping that, prioritizing that length of the left side of the torso, feeling where the front leg buttock bone is in relation to the heel, front heel. Keep pushing the back leg towards the wall behind you, breathing in and out through the nose. And then come back to the center, bring your feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. So just spend a few moments listening to the breath, observing your breath, focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Bring your arms out nice and wide in toward your chest, and then step or jump, go wide with your legs, as wide as you can, bringing the heels onto the edge of the mat if you can. And then turn the toes in. Straighten your legs, tighten your kneecaps, lift up into the heart area. wing the elbows behind you and then come forwards into prasarita, padottanasana. If you can't reach the floor, then use some blocks underneath your hands. But just work at this stage to really maintain those tadasana legs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards, keeping the legs straight, lifting the seat bones, projecting forwards into the chin and the chest. And then hinging entirely at the hips, keeping the back straight. Come forward if you can, or just stay at that first stage if you're still working to straighten the back. If you're doing the second stage, bring the heel of the hands in line with the heels of the feet. Just resting on the top of the head, no weight in your head. If you've got lots of weight in your head, you're hitting your legs forwards. Hit your legs back towards the wall behind you so that you've got weight in your heels. Lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You could reach around the outsides of your ankles. Push the ankles into the hands into the feet, the hands into the ankles. Keeping the weight away from the head. Hitting the legs back. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, lifting the backs of the thighs away from the floor, lifting the seat bones away from the floor. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the shoulders away from the ears if you're in the second stage. Keeping the weight away from your head. Keep extending the spine away from the legs if you're in the first stage. Keep working to straighten the back if you're in the first stage. Okay, and then lift the head. Just come back to the first stage. And then bring the palms of the hands down, bend your knees, and then step or jump feet back together, and then come back up into Tadasana. Come up into Tadasana, and then raise your arms up. Raise your arms, lift the arms to the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then gently release the backs of the arms down. And then come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels in virasana for a moment. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just absorbing the energy of the breath. Okay, we're going to do a headstand. So if you know that you can do a headstand, then you can go straight up. If you're not sure, then we can do the supported inversion, where we just do the preparation stage. But if you can do the headstand, do it by the wall if you typically do it by the wall. Otherwise we'll just do the preparation stage. So come down onto your elbows and have the elbows underneath your shoulders. Have the elbows underneath the shoulders and have your hands interlock your fingers. So hands underneath your shoulders, that's really important. So don't throw yourself up into headstand. Just make sure that you create a good foundation. So elbows underneath shoulders, major priority, otherwise you just collapse. Have the upper wrist facing wrists directly above the lower wrists. So you open the cup a little, so you don't let the upper facing wrists kind of collapse inwards. And then bring your chin into your chest, push the head into the hands, push the hands into the head. Turn your toes under, and then just a little bit like dog down to start off with. Just come up onto your toes and just work to lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. Keep the elbows, the armpits extending into your elbows, so that it's your arms that take the weight and not your head. And then maybe start walking your feet in towards the wall. And then if you can raise your legs, then do. So you can come in and out of that preparation stage, or you can come up into a headstand, but using the wall to help you to balance. If you're not doing a headstand today, you can do supta baddangulyasana. So lay on your back with your feet close to the seat bones and your knees rolling out to the side. Extend your legs if you're in headstand like you're doing tadasana, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, lengthening the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing evenly, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just stay in the pose a little longer, just observing your breath, just listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. So Abigail, turn the tailbone in, bring the feet apart a little, turn the tailbone in, and just one leg at a time, see if you can bring the legs away from the wall. There you go, good. Keep turning the tailbone in, lengthening the sacrum away from the spine. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Push the heels to the ceiling. Okay, when you're ready, just gently bring yourself down. Try and come down with straight legs if you can. Good, don't come up too quickly. Just stretch forwards into Adho Mukha virasana. With the hands and the fingertips. Just to give you space in your neck. And then when you're ready, just sit back on your heels. Don't be in a rush to move anywhere else. We'll just gently bring ourselves out of the pose, but you don't want to get up too quickly because you can go dizzy after being upside down. And then just one more time, come forward into Adho Mukha Virasana, stretching forwards, lengthening out the back. Put your hands underneath your shoulders and push yourself up onto your seat bones, lifting up into the chest. Okay, just sit on a folded blanket and stretch your legs out. Stretch your legs out in front and just roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the sides and then elevate the heart area upwards. Turn the fronts of the legs inwards. Tighten the kneecaps like you're doing Tadasana. Make the pose like you're doing Tadasana. Feel that you are lifting the thighs, lifting the thigh muscles all the way up from the knees up into the hips. Turning the fronts of the legs inwards. Reach around the backs of your thighs and broaden them consciously outwards. That's the action of direction. Do you remember that corkscrew action? If you turn the fronts of the legs, the backs of the thighs will broaden. Lift up into the chest. Feel how your feet and your legs connect to the ground. Try and get the backs of your thighs onto the floor. Try and get the backs of the knees onto the floor. Turning the inner knees down to the floor a little. And then raise your arms. Dandasana. Feel that you can lift onto the front edge of the seat bones and lift from the hips up into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, but keeping the shoulders away from the ears, drawing the trapezius muscle down the back. It's that slab of diamond-shaped muscle from the neck into the armpits, down into the middle of the back towards the lumbar. Draw that muscle down so that you can lift the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If you've got a bad back, then just release your arms, throw a belt around your feet, and then just come into the pose like this. If you don't have a bad back, then, or if your back, you know your back will cope, then you come forwards, lengthening forwards, keeping the arms lifted, keeping the head lifted. Keep reaching forwards until you're reaching beyond your feet. And then take hold of the feet. If you can't get hold of the feet, put a belt around your feet. So rather than holding around the tops of the feet, hold around the sides of the feet. And take the thumbs with the fingers around the soles of the feet. Go back to the legs, tighten the kneecaps. Tighten the kneecaps, hit the thighs down onto the floor and lift up into the chest. Try and draw the shoulder blades in. Lifting the sternum bone up towards the chin, drawing those shoulder blades in. If you can, you keep the length of the spine, come forwards a little more, bend your elbows out to the side. If you can reach around your feet, then do. Just coming forwards a little at a time into paschimottanasana. Keeping the head lifted as you come forward, bending the elbows out to the side, never losing the legs, lengthening into the spine. And then if you can, you keep coming forwards until the chest is resting on the legs, and you can bring your head down towards the legs, but don't try and bring your head down before all those other things happen. To paschimottanasana, quiet and in pose, really good for the internal organs, especially the liver and the kidneys. Okay, and then gently come back to the center. Just observe the quietness of the brain as you come out of a forward bend. And then bring your legs into swastikasana. So sitting on the lift, so swastikasana rather than half padottanasana. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, rolling onto the front edge of the seat bone. Lifting the abdomen up to the diaphragm, up to the collarbone, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, drawing that trapezius muscle down the back. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, elevate the heart area upwards, take a deep inhalation in through the nose, and then turn to the left. Gently come back to the center. Just come down onto your back and into supta baddangulyasana. Just bringing the body down to the ground, bringing the feet together, letting the knees fall apart, having the feet as close together, as close to the seat bones as you can. Just observe your pose, observe the innate balance within the pose. If there is discomfort in the hips, then put blocks on the outsides of your thighs. Otherwise, just allow the body to release into the floor. Consciously press the heels together. Press the heels together so that you activate the legs more consciously. Turn the tailbone in a little, lengthening the sacrum away from the lumbar. Drawing the belly button towards the spine so that the lumbar becomes flat into the floor. Raise your arms up, interlock the fingers right into the webbing of the hands, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthen your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, you can put a folded blanket or some blocks underneath your hands to support your shoulders. Otherwise, just use the floor just to realign the spine. Lengthening consciously into the arms. Raise your arms, swap the interlock of the fingers so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack. Turn the palms all the way out and then lengthen your arms along the floor. And then release your arms. Press your hands on your lower ribs. Just let the body rest into the floor. And then bend your knees in towards each other. Bring the knees together and the feet apart. Just resting. Your hips in the opposite direction. Take hold of the edges of the mat quite firmly in the hands. Bend your knees and then elevate the legs up to the ceiling. If you've got a bolster handy, then you can put the bolster underneath your back just for a little extra elevation, holding onto the edges of the bolster, coming up onto the tops of the shoulders. So you can maximize the extension with a bolster or just have the legs, the seat bones directly on the floor. It all works either way. Just extend the legs up to the ceiling, try and straighten them. Just feel how the physical body connects to the ground. How you can extend out of the floor up into the legs. Bend your knees, bring your feet down onto the floor. Just resting. If you're on the bolster, just rest with the bolster underneath you for a moment or two. And then if the seat bones, remove the bolster from underneath you. Get your folded blanket for underneath your head, and then just come up onto your elbows. Just make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of your mat. And then allow the body to release into the floor. Focus on feeling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Let the body completely relax into the ground. Let the body become heavy. Observe how the in-breath and especially the out-breath have got the sound of the ocean. Waves coming in with the in-breath, the water retreating back into the ocean with the out-breath. One of the calmest sounds of the beach. Just listening to the sound of the water extending into the land and retreating back into the ocean. You're at a good distance from the water. There's no possibility that the water is going to come up as far as you are inland. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. Maybe you can hear the sound of birds in the sky. Just allow the body to release into the floor with the out-breath. Observing how the body makes contact with the floor. Allowing the body to completely surrender into the ground. To disturb yourself, just start wriggling your toes, wriggling fingers, bringing yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Hold your knees in towards your chest. And have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then very gently roll over onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into the seated position, just cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift, drawing your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. Good energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy around the heart area. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tips of the index finger together with the tips of the thumb. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy, given yourself some good groundedness and given yourself some good energy to face your day. So thank you very much for joining me.